Hello, Internet. Thank you once again for joining me to talk all things vertical drama. I am joined by a wonderful, brilliant, talented actress by the name of Jessica Jacoby, and we're going to talk all things vertical and also just the life and times of Jessica and anything else our conversation takes us towards. So I'm going to ask Jess to introduce herself and just do a little bit about kind of where she was born and where she grew up. So off you go.
Yes. Well, hello everyone. I am Jessica Jacoby. And yeah, let's start from my childhood. Get to know me. I was born and raised in New Jersey, so East Coast, which is the best coast, I think. But yeah, I was born and raised in New Jersey, and my whole family is in the film industry. So I knew it was something I always wanted to get into. I always make the joke that I was born on a movie set, but it is true. My parents did meet on a film set and fell in love. My dad was an assistant director. My mom is a producer, and my grandfather was a cinematographer. So everyone does something different in my family, which is really cool. So yeah, from a young age, always I was always on set with my family, but I always wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to be the center of attention. That was my goal as a child, causing havoc and trying to get in front of a camera. Um, so my parents, they really believed in me, and everyone um kind of they pushed me to do whatever I wanted. They were never the kind of parents who wanted me to be an actress and like you have to do this and were really trying to push me into it at a young age. If anything, it was kind of the opposite. As much as they wanted me to follow my dreams, my mom didn't want me to become a child actress and throw away my childhood for that specifically. So I still went to school. I still had a roughly normal childhood. I can't really say a normal childhood is being on film sets every weekend because that's not normal for a kid. But I tried to have the most normal childhood as possible. So I went to public school. I played sports. I was a cheerleader all of my life. I played soccer. I played lacrosse. I love sports. I love being athletic. That kind of blends into some of my roles as well. And now I'm taking a lot of more action-based roles because I love I love to move. I love to run. Um, but yeah, but I've been acting ever since I was a kid. I had done a lot of stuff when I was younger. I was doing film acting when I was younger. I had done some older Disney shows. I did a lot of commercials, a lot of theater. Yeah, and then I went to college for both journalism. I have a degree in journalism and yeah, and a degree in film production. I didn't go to college for acting, but I was still acting throughout
Yeah.
college. Um, but yeah, I mean, that was pretty much like my school and childhood life with film and with acting. It was a big part of my life. It always has been. I used to make my friends do plays in our basement, but I would make them do everything else and then it was my show. I'm like directing them. I'm like, and if they mess up the light, I'm like, we have to redo it. We have to restart from the top. And my mom is like, my daughter's not going to be an actress. She's going to be a director. My mom's like, she directs everyone around. But honestly, with being on sets though, now with acting, it's definitely made me realize how much I would love to direct as well one day.
Oh,
That is
exciting.
something I really would like to do.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you with soccer, what was your position? What did you?
I was left mid in soccer. Yeah, I was left midfield. I was not the best on the team. I'll tell you that for sure. I was definitely not the best, but it was fun. It was super fun.
Were
I
you
love
kind of
playing sports.
were you kind of a run with the ball person? Did you do the good kicks? You pass the teammates. What was kind of your?
Yes. Anytime the ball came to me, I was just trying to find this girl, Michaela, who was great and she was always open. And that was my job was to get the ball, keep it away from someone else, but look for Michaela and pass
I
it to
love
her.
that. Get it to Michaela. Michaela will.
It's Michaela. Get it to Michaela.
Um, and then when the weekends you said that you were kind of on film sets, what was? Do you remember what it was that was there anything specific that you particularly loved? The whole thing, like what were the bits that you found most exciting?
I mean, the best part for me was craft service and all the snacks. That I was like, we get free snacks all day. There's a table. I was that's what sold it for me, honestly, as a kid. But no, I mean, just the energy on a set. It's something else. It's unlike any other job and any other workplace, but just also seeing actors being able to lock in like a
Mm.
certain moment and just the way it's really just the energy. I don't really know how to describe it because actually no one's ever asked me that question before. But I think when it's all quiet and the actors lock in and they become someone else, that watching that and seeing that from an outsider's perspective, it was mesmerizing. It was amazing, especially since it was something I always loved acting as a kid, and it was something that I did on my own, not on a set, just in my room with my
Mm.
family, on a stage. And there's just something different about locking in for those few minutes and just everyone's quiet and everyone's watching, and it's amazing. It's really cool. And it's almost like a high in a way, but yeah, that's what I love. That's what I loved most about it as a kid, seeing that and now being able to be on another side of that is crazy.
So obviously you actually sounds like you're really busy as a kid because you're doing cheerleading, you're doing football, you're doing school, you're on film sets at the
Yeah.
weekend, just watching what's going on, you're acting as well. Um,
Yes.
if you were watching, as in as a viewer, what did you enjoy watching? What were the actual TV and movies that you
Oh,
liked as a kid?
yes. My favorite movie of all time is The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz is that is the first movie I ever remember watching as a kid, like, the first thing I remember, and I just remember being in awe of Judy Garland and just of the story and just how everything it was just beautiful. It was beautiful. So that still to this day is my favorite movie, but, I it's interesting because I watched a lot of movies I probably wasn't supposed to be watching as a kid because my family was in the film industry. I was always taught that it's fake. Like, it's like the blood, it's not real. Like, for
Mm.
horror movies, 'cause that was the big thing for me. I was so scared of horror movies. And I still am scared of horror movies, but I love being in horror movies. So there's a difference. But from a young age, though, I wasn't as scared of them because I was like, "It's fake. The blood's fake. They're not actually dying. It's okay." So I was able to get through more serious movies, or gory type of movies as a kid a lot easier. But I loved Harry Potter growing up. I started watching Harry Potter from a very young age. I read the books. I love everything about Harry Potter. Um, Lord of the Rings, I watched also at a very young age. My dad was a big Lord of the Rings fan. But for TV growing up, I mean, I was a Disney kid. Hannah Montana, That's So Raven, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Wizards of Waverly Place. That was my jam.
Waverly Place.
The
Yeah,
best.
I'm too old and I watch Wizard of Waverly Place.
It's the best.
It's the
Like
best.
Alex Russo, like Selena Gomez's character she raised me.
Mm.
She raised me, and I feel like I sometimes I find a piece of her in my acting. I swear.
That is the thing. They're family friends, they're family members, people that kind of you grow up with like that watching.
Yeah,
They are
no,
part of you.
seriously. They are a part of you, especially when like I said, like I knew I've always wanted to act from a very young age.
Mm.
So I grew up watching these actors and wanting to be like them. So just subconsciously, you start taking some characteristics or the way they act, the way they just present themselves on like a screen. You find that in a part of your work sometimes. And I honestly think it's a beautiful thing. It's really cool.
So
Mm.
I have to ask, okay, so as someone who's coming from a family with, I would say, a bit of a pedigree film background,
Yeah.
how does it work then when you're like, I'm going to do this new thing called verticals?
Yeah. It's
Like,
so interesting. You say that.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, at first, my family had all the questions that I had, that the world had is, what are these? What is a vertical? And is this legit? Is this real? And when I auditioned for my first vertical. I had no idea what it was. I was a little nervous because of the title. I thought it was a little weird, which they still
Yeah.
are. That hasn't changed, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, so I had auditioned for it. My mom was like, "Is it legit? Is this a real production?" I was like, "I believe so," but they're flying me out to LA because I was living in New York at the time. Um, they were gonna fly me out to LA, and I was like, "All right, I guess we'll see how it is when I get there." And I got there and it was an actual production. And it was cool and it was an amazing first vertical experience that I had. Um, and then I hopped on another one and it was it was a lot different than the first one I was on. And so it was kind of I learned that it was going to be a toss up. Some were going to be really professional and some not so. But it is definitely different going from sets with my family to the vertical sets, especially since my grandfather, he was Woody Allen's cinematographer. So these are big budget, major motion pictures. And but there's similarities in ways too. It's interesting and it really varies from set to set, crew to crew, just different production companies. But my mom works for Netflix now. She's a producer there. So another thing, her sets are also there's bigger budgets. So there's just more going on. But she has come to a vertical set, my mom. I
Yeah.
did bring her to one of my sets one day and I told her, I go, just keep your mouth shut. I'm like, and she's like, I got you. But she was really impressed with what she saw for the most part. And she we've had a discussion about verticals and she my mom believes in verticals. She loves these. She loves these verticals. She is just on the side of them where she believes in the future of them, but she's like they need to be run differently. They there needs to be a change in certain aspects if we want to see the future that we all want to see with these
Yeah.
verticals. But she loves them. She thinks they're the new future. And I mean, I agree with her. This short form content, it's here to stay. And like people need to realize that. And she is trying to convince people of that currently. And I think my mom is open to producing verticals. She's talked to me about it. She's talked to other production companies about it. She's talked to apps about it in this vertical world, but she's interested in the shift. She doesn't want to continue making the content that what's currently getting put out, especially with I know there's been so many discussions just about the female abuse and
Yeah.
just language, just there's so many things that need to change that audience and fans want to see the change in that too. But there are certain people that are high up right now who don't want to see that change because it's making them money,
Yeah.
you know? But my family is at first, like first they were hesitant about these verticals, like not really hesitant, but it was just the kind of the question, what are they? But my family now is in total support of them and wants to see the positive change that they can make and that they can be because they're here to stay. And I'm really excited to see what the future for verticals are.
So once you're acting in verticals, so obviously I've done research, everyone. See, I prep for these interviews, honestly. But I was going through like obviously, Jessica, you've done loads of different roles, and I think you probably have one of the most varied CVs because you've done the best friend
Mm-hmm.
who gets her own love story. I really like that one.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
done
That's the first one I've ever done.
that was. I mean, I love you in that. I think you're brilliant in that because I went
Thanks.
back and watched it after I kind of was more aware of you. I went, "Oh, it's you! I love that character," and I had a whole moment. Um, you've done some awesome villains, so I want to talk about your villains first of all.
Yeah.
So you had
Please.
Mia in Summer Situationship,
Yes.
who was awesome and deservedly got you on the nomination list for Villainess of
Thank
the Year,
you.
the Vertical Drama
Thank
Award.
you. Thank you.
Totally deserved. And then you've also done obviously Scoring with My Sexy Coach, where you got to be a twin with Molly Anderson. Actually, that was really interesting because I didn't think either of you were totally good or totally bad.
Yep.
More
Yep.
nuanced characters, and there was also that really sort of sisters just trying to
Right.
outdo each other.
Right. Right.
What do you love about the villain roles? Share what they give you and how you enjoy them.
Oh, I love the villain. I love playing the villain. And for me, it's so freeing. It's being able to say and do all of the things that you don't get to do in your everyday life or say in your everyday life, and you get to feel those things. Because I feel like when I play the female leads, I mean, we'll get into this after, but my roles, I like to play a lot of different roles. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of times when I'm the lead, I'm like playing myself with different emotions, whereas when I'm the villain, it's not myself. So it's someone completely different, and it's just so fun to be a bitch sometimes because you don't get to do that. And because I'm not, or at least I hope I'm not in my everyday life. So it's so fun. It's just so fun.
And then how was, because Scoring My Sexy Coach is, I think, possibly the first and only vertical about fencing, which is
Yeah.
really cool and different. And as someone obviously with your I love sports and moving, presumably that was a big appeal as well, that you got
Yeah.
to have a bit
Oh,
of fencing action.
yeah, that was super fun. And we had a training day. So we got to take fencing lessons for a day. So I actually got to learn how to fence a little bit because we had stunt doubles for and fencing doubles for Molly and I, and Sam as well, who were amazing. But there were some shots where it's actually Molly and I fencing. We got to do some of the stuff, and it was super cool. And I remember the fencing instructor had said to me day one, because I picked it up pretty quick. I felt like I was pretty good, pretty fast. And he had told me, he goes, with one more day of training, he goes, you could have done this whole project like
Wow.
yourself. And I'm like, really? And he goes, you have this thing called natural aggression. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it, I guess. But he was like, but it's good with like fighting and like scene stuff. He goes, because you naturally just have that power there. I'm like, all right, I'll take it. I'm playing the villain. I'll take the natural aggression for this one. But yeah, it was super cool. But it's tiring. Doing a vertical or just any project while also playing a sport in it, it takes a
A
lot
lot.
out of you. Like by the end of the day, like me, Molly, and Sam would look at each other, be like, our legs are on fire. And it's a lot of work. So I give all the credit to actors and stunt doubles or people who just do all of their own stunts and all their own action, because having to do that while having to memorize almost 20 pages a day, plus having to act on top of all of that, and like having to know where the cameras are and remember the choreography, like it's a lot. It's definitely a lot of work. It was one of the harder verticals, like physically harder verticals I've done for sure. But it
And I
was
have to ask about, you have like, your school uniforms are awesome in that.
Oh, I loved the uniforms. I loved them. They were so cute.
And the skirts like getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And I get all judgy, and then obviously you see the local teenagers and you're like, yeah, no, that's accurate.
Yeah.
The skirt is
Right.
very,
It's
very
it's
short.
pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate.
Um, and then going on to obviously your leading roles,
Yes.
I want to talk about actually your more action roles, because you've played not one but two female kind of spy, undercover cop, secret agent, which is awesome because there's not enough of those stories out yet, and the fact you've done
No.
two is really cool.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
And I particularly want to watch because I mean basically I've just been watching it and I have to remember the name now, which is gonna make
The
me,
Miss Detective, Mr. Thief.
all the other ones, spy,
The
no,
CEO.
CEO
The
trap.
the CEO trap. It was supposed to be. It was originally Secret Agent, and that's how they posted it. And then randomly one day they just switched it to the CEO trap. I was like, okay, that's fine, I guess.
Um, yeah, you get to do again. One of my favorite things is obviously we know from the outset the character's out to do things, but you get to do the first action scene.
Yes.
It's an intruder barges into the house with a knife,
Yep.
and I'm sorry, Nick Ritako, he just stands there and does nothing.
We kept making jokes about it on set, and everyone's like, "Yeah, look at Jess, look at yeah," and then there's Nick, and Nick just stands there the whole time. There was one scene where we're like in bed cuddling, and I was like, "Can I be the big spoon?" I'm like, my character would be the big spoon. He'd be the little spoon. I'm like, Nick Ritako does nothing in this. It's just Jess fighting and fending people off for him. But yeah, no, that role, that was so fun. I love playing a powerful female lead. Those are the kind of roles I try and um book and I try and get, but unfortunately there's just not a lot of them. Um, but yeah, no, that action sequence was super fun to film. It was funny. I didn't know that because we had rehearsed it in like 50% speed, and then they're like, "All right, should we just go for it?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So we like have our cute little kiss, and then all of a sudden I hear this guy charging at me with this knife, and I screamed and I like ran back. And they're like, "Okay, cut. We need to do another take. Like, you can't scream and run." I was like, he came at me so fast.
It was too good.
I'm like, that was so scary. But we finally got it. But yeah, no, that one was super fun.
And also I thought you had a lot more to do with the character there as well, because you can see her. I love the fact you can see in your face of like when she's being herself and then like she's trying to charm him. So then she turns on now, I'm going to try and slightly seduce you and distract you from the fact I've just been rifling through your papers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just felt you also taking away the action, which is awesome. As
Yeah.
a character, you got a lot more to do because there are
Yeah.
more layers. And what was she trying? Presumably as well. That's just, I just think it's really nice when you see people that you know are talented start to get the roles that allow you to showcase more of what you can do.
Thank you. Thank you. That's something that I've been fighting for with my manager as well. I feel like I've I've done a lot of verticals. I think I'm at 21 or 22 verticals now. And I've led most of the ones I've been in, or I've been the villain. But there's a lot of stories that I've done where they're not original stories and they're just repeats of ones that have already been done, and there haven't been any big standout roles. So I'm hoping more are going to come, and I'm working on some original stories now, which will be great. And that's why I love playing these stronger female roles, or the ones in like the CEO Trap, an original story with an original character who has layers to her. And I love playing a character that is hiding something, because I like to give them layers, because we also don't have a lot of time, meaning one for obviously prep work, but also in the story itself, there's no time for character development. So it's like, how can I make this interesting enough where you're getting entertained by what's going on in the scene, but I also want you to question stuff about my character or what my intentions are. And I want there to be a purpose behind what I'm doing, because most of the time that's not even scripted. And I know there are some people will just do what's on the script because that's just where the story goes. And as much as I want to do that as well, I also want to give you guys something more than that, because this is a character. And we want to know more about the character too, because sometimes we only get 45 episodes to have some sort of character development or relationship that you want the audience to be into and to fight for. We have to make them want us in some way, or else they don't care. And we also have to keep it interesting enough with some drama in a story. We have to do all these things in such a short amount of time. And it's like, how do we do it? So I'm trying to find those ways.
And do you build out the character for yourself? So when you're given a script, do you try and work through it and go, right,
Right.
they're not telling me, I'm going to try and work out
Yeah.
where they're coming from and what's going on here?
Yeah, I have to work it out myself, and I do. I'll make stuff up because 9 out of 10 times the director doesn't even know because they just got the script one day before I did, and they're not writing it. And sometimes we don't know who the writer is. I, so you have to do a lot of these things yourself. And hopefully you'll have a director that will either one, allow you to do that, or two, will work on stuff with you and want to do it just as much as you do. Because there are some directors that we've worked with where they just want to get the job done and go home.
Mm.
And it's like, well, then what's the point of doing all of this? Like, I feel like we should be putting our best foot forward and trying to make this the best possible project it can be. And that's my goal. I always want to make it the best possible project it can be and to give the audience everything that we could give them. And also it's helping me, I feel like, as an actor too. And also as a writer, because I'm also a writer. I feel like you get to almost this gives us as actors the ability to become writers in our own way and write these characters and create these characters for ourselves and portray that on screen, you know?
So I have to ask you then, go on then, Mia and Summer Situationship. What did you have extra in your head that we didn't see on screen but you knew was there?
Oh my gosh, so much. I mean, Mia, I had her like her and Jules were best friends. And I made that clear in my head that like this girl is my best friend and I'm jealous of her in every way. And I'm jealous of her because she's not trying and she's getting all of the guys. And it's it wasn't scripted that she wasn't trying and that Jules, that Alexa's character wasn't trying, but I made all this kind of little drama and like reasons why we don't like each other or why I don't like her in my head so I could portray that because like a movie doesn't just it's not a beginning, middle, and end of someone's life. It just is a little blip in people's lives. So I'm like, okay, so what's going on in our lives before this and also what's going to go on in our lives after this. But oh my gosh, half of my lines in Summer Situationship, I feel like I improvise. I'm like a queen at improvising. Like in almost all of my verticals, like especially as the villain, those just come in the moment. There was in Summers, this is like the one of like the iconic lines that I still talk about with the crew who did Summer Situationship because I still work with them. The wardrobe girl Sierra who did the CEO trap also did Summer Situationship. She was also wardrobe on that. But there is a scene at the end when I get arrested and I get handcuffed and I say I am supposed to not have a single line. And I think I was like screaming. I was like, wait till my dad hears about this. And then I look at them handcuffing me. I'm like, these are not what they're for. So I was trying.
I love that that's you. Oh, that makes
But
me so happy.
yeah, and it's just not scripted. And everyone is just dying laughing. And it's always like there's so many lines in that are just not scripted. But the villain roles, I love getting them because I'm like, I just throw in random lines at random times. And I feel like every time I do, you just hear the director, it's like, okay, so we're going to get a close up of Jess saying that line because that was gold. We want to keep that. But that's what's fun about being the villain. You have room to throw in because there are all these like snarky one-liners because that's so I the reason why I don't love playing the villain sometimes is because I feel like they don't get to have much of a character arc. There's not much there. They kind of walk into a scene to be a bitch and then walk out, and that's what it is. And I keep talking to producers and writers. I'm like, I would love to play a villain role if she just had some meat and juice to her. And that's kind of why I love doing the scoring my sexy coach. I love playing Molly's twin because I feel like there was way more to the story there with the villain. She's not necessarily the villain,
Mhm.
she's actually talented at what she does. She won the initial championship round. So I just feel like there was a lot there. But what is fun about playing the villain is because sometimes they just have to walk in, be a bitch, and walk out. You better make it a bitch and you better make it fun. So I love throwing in some lines, and they're always here for it. So it's super fun.
That's so interesting because I think you're right that that's often the villains that I remember and I love are the ones where, yeah, they've they've lent into it and it's either slightly campy or it's slightly fun or it's flamboyant or you've
Right.
lent, and that's the ones that stick with you. Where
Right.
you're like, yeah, they, which again is I think why Mia was so popular because people will
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah. People remember her. I'll always remember her. I think that is my favorite role that I've done for sure.
And then on the other roles you've done, obviously, what was one I wanted to mention to you? Fated Encounter, Love in Disguise.
Yeah.
It's a fab little rom com,
Yes.
and I think you need to do more comedy
I agree with you.
because it's even just the beginning. You can do the physical comedy
Thank
as
you.
well as the obviously the delivery as well. I just feel like you in an out and out farce or something would be hilarious.
Yeah. I would love to do a comedy. Comedies are right up my alley. I don't get to do a lot of them because honestly, I'm not getting auditions for them. I'm just I don't know why the roles that I get auditions for are roles I honestly don't think I should be booking.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's interesting about this world right now. I don't get some people don't get auditions for the roles that they would thrive in, that I could actually utilize my skills or my talents for. But instead I'm booking these other roles where I feel like there's other people who could nail this almost better than me. So it's interesting, and I don't have the answers for some casting,
Do you
but
think casting, there's a danger that casting kind of see you in a certain type of role
you know,
and then they're just on that train of
some
that person, that's the look for that.
right. So sometimes at first I did because I had done this role for this project called Daddy December, which was I think is probably one of my favorite projects. I don't promote that one as much because it's very spicy,
Mm.
like very, very, very spicy, but that one's on real short. And after that, I started getting only spicy auditions. And I
Oh,
was like, that's not it's not what I want. I did this because I liked the script. And even though it was spicier, I loved the script. I loved the content. My co-star is amazing. And it was such an amazing experience. But that doesn't mean that those are only the projects that I'm going to be doing from now on. So I think at first I did get a little typecast into certain roles, but then that's kind of why I love to do a bunch of different types of roles. And I play a lot of different types of characters because I don't want to be pigeonholed into a specific type of role, you know? So that's why sometimes I'll take the villain, and then sometimes I'll play the damsel in distress, or I'll play the strong female lead. And I like to do a little bit of everything. However, if I am going to be pigeonholed into a role or into a category in this vertical world, I I would like it to be the strong the strong female who kicks ass and is a badass. Recently I've been booking roles like that, so I'm like, keep them coming. I'm like, I'll take those I'm fine with. But yeah, that's something that I think I've tried to avoid um a lot, because I am typecast in the non-vertical world. I feel like I tend to book a lot of psychological thrillers and horrors, but I'm the crazy person in them. I'm the psychotic killer, which is fun, but it's funny because that's not my roles in the vertical world at all. So it's
Wow.
interesting. Yeah, very
Oh,
interesting.
I would love a psychological thriller of like yourself and Molly.
Oh, well, it's actually funny you say that. So I have a movie coming out, a feature film coming out on Amazon Prime and Tubi in October, and it is called The Mail Lady 2. And The Mail Lady 1, Molly was the star of it, and I am the star of the second one. And
Oh, wow.
and that's how we met, Molly and I. We didn't meet through verticals. We met through a feature film. And so it's really interesting. She was the female lead in the first one, and then I replaced her as the female lead in the second and third movie. And so I play her in a scene. I have to have a blonde wig. So I'm like, I literally play Molly Anderson. And then we got cast as twins in the Scoring My Sexy Coach. So that's how we met. And then we became like best friends. But it's interesting because people say how similar we are, but I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, we got cast as the same role in a feature film and then got cast as twins. Like, we're really similar. But yeah, I would love to do a movie with her. But it's so funny because there is a psychological thriller where we
Kind
play
of,
the same character.
because I just
Mhm.
think it'd be so awesome to have both of you getting to play a fully rounded character. Because I felt it kind of touched on it in Scoring My Sexy Coach, but obviously, it
Yeah,
became about the fencing and sexy coach. But
right.
actually, I was almost take that out and have the two of you flawed characters, and we're never quite sure who the good one is and who the bad one is, and maybe it gets reversed. And I think you two would be like awesome at that.
I think hey, I'll pitch it. Like, I think that would be amazing. We keep trying to fight for a Scoring My Sexy Coach 2 of both of us making it to the Olympics. And maybe we have to team up. Maybe there's an even bigger enemy and we have to team up as sisters and put our problems aside and
It's all
do
gone
stuff.
pitch perfect now. I'm like, clearly the enemies are like
Right.
a very efficient German team or something, and then
Right.
the
Right.
two willing
No,
Americans have to make.
literally, like that's how it could be. But yeah, we keep pitching that. But I would love to do a vertical with Molly. That's the thing. Like I feel like we don't get to do a lot of verticals with the other female leads. We never like I never get to we never all really get to work together a lot. It was a blessing that Molly and I got to, but like my two other best friends, Tess and Kayla, we never get to work together because we would just never get cast together in something, which is so unfortunate because it's like you could get a bunch of these people together and put them in something, but they never think to do it. But there is a vertical that my friends had done. It's not with a specific production company or an app because we are gonna release it eventually. But we made a horror vertical, and the cast is stacked. It's with a bunch of male and female leads in this vertical world, and we all got together for an ensemble cast and we made a vertical, and it's great. And right now we're just trying to sell it, but it's awesome. And people are going to love it and get excited about that. But I think it just proves
Can you
that
tell us more? Can you drop a few details, please? Or is
I'm
that
probably not even allowed to say that. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna kill me.
who's going to
um
kill you? Who are you going to be in trouble with?
I'm being in trouble with my friend Rick Shepherd. Rick Shepherd,
Oh,
he's
it's Rick
amazing.
Shepherd. Awesome.
Yes, it's so there's a lot of us in it, but I'm in it, Rick's in it, Candace is in it, and Aaron Oberst is in it. We have some other exciting big stars in, but I can't drop too many
Oh, but we
details.
need to do a bit of hype.
But
We
I
need to
know,
start.
yes.
We're building the
Need a bit of
buzz.
a-
This is
We're gonna build the
marketing.
buzz. We're gonna build the buzz that something exciting should be coming soon, but I cannot have him kill me.
No.
But yeah, we filmed it a while ago. We filmed it in like April, maybe.
Mm.
But it's awesome. It's a horror, it's bloody, it's a slasher, it's gonna be fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. And too it's not your normal soap opera. It's
Right.
definitely not your normal soap opera, but I'm excited because I think it's going to be the new wave of verticals for sure. So I'm excited.
Very cool. I think one of the appeal for fans at the moment is that you do all feel relatable, the
Right.
stars. So, you'll share your stories and you'll be like, I'm off on set, I'm doing this. And people can feel involved. They can
Right.
get that pre-buzz about a project. Like people who follow know that you've been in Turkey for a week and like, oh, right,
Yes.
now we want to see what this
Right.
project is and when it comes out.
Right.
And, I know you will get a lot of messages and I know that a lot of you are pretty responsive.
Yes.
Do you get advice on how to handle that? What kind of things do people reach out to you? Like, yeah, I
So,
guess you're saying no. So I'm thinking it's a lot to
yeah,
handle. And I was just sort of
it is
wondering
a
what
lot.
your thoughts were on it.
It's definitely a lot. And honestly, I love talking to everyone. I love talking to fans. I love to feel relatable to them. And I would love to be a safe space for people because that's who I am in my everyday life. So it's not much of a change for me. I feel like I'm always the person to go to for my friends. I'm always there to listen. I'm always there to give advice. Um, but when it comes to people who I don't know that well personally, sometimes I feel like I want to give the best advice that I can give, but I never want to steer someone in the wrong way, and I never want to give advice that may not be good advice for everyone. So I feel like when I do talk to everyone, I'm like, "Hey, this is what my opinion on everything, but I at the end of the day, um your decision is your decision and like or your thoughts are your thoughts and I want to be here for you to listen, but I can't really tell someone to do a certain thing because I don't know them personally. So I try and make that clear as well as I'm talking to them. But it is hard because there are days where I can't answer and then I feel bad because I'm like I also don't want to lose anyone as fans because I'm busy or I can't talk to them today or I'm accidentally left someone on red when I didn't mean to or I didn't repost an edit because I didn't in the moment something got caught up or sometimes people don't want to post a bunch of stuff and it's that's how it is, but it's hard because I never want to disappoint anyone. That is my biggest thing. I never, ever, ever want to disappoint anyone. And I mean, I was when I was younger, I mean, still am, I'm a huge fan of One Direction. I was the biggest fangirl. I had fan accounts for One Direction. And like if Harry Styles or anyone had reached out to me or liked my post or repost something, I would have to be sent to a hospital. Like, I would not be okay. But so when I have people who are fans of me or tell me that they love me, I want to do everything I can for them, because I'm like, I get it. I get being a fan of someone or something that you just love so much and you want to show all this love to. So I love my fans and I do love everyone and I want to post more and feel like I wanna do more on my profile, so I don't always my communication with fans doesn't always just have to be messaging them because
Right.
I feel like sometimes I don't post a lot or I post a lot on my story, but not on my actual Instagram. So I wanna find more ways, whether that's going live more so I could talk to people at a certain time and not have to feel like I'm on call 24/7 trying to message everyone at random times, you know what I mean? But, but I do love talking to the fans, but I have no one helping me. I don't have, like, a social media manager or anyone to tell me what I should be saying, shouldn't be saying, like, all of that. So it's definitely, it's it's new, and I'm learning as well as I'm sure a lot of actors are because I feel like there's a lot of actors who in Hollywood who their first acting experience was on a show, was on One Tree Hill or Hannah Montana, 90210, or they were in Superman or whatever, where they reached that level so fast that they immediately just went from 1,000 followers to 500,000 followers. Now they have a social media manager. Now they have a PR manager. Now they have this, this, this. But for these vertical actors, we're in this weird in-between stage where it's like we have fans and we're getting recognition and people love what we're doing, but we're not at that level yet where now we have PR managers and social media managers to help us with all of this. So we're getting this hype, but like on our own. And it's difficult. It's definitely difficult to manage and to figure out how to handle it and go about it. But I'm always open to suggestions. I'm like, if anyone wants to help me out, or just I want to know what fans want too. I want to know, like, what do you want to talk to me about? What would you like me to post? Because it's for everyone else. I'm not, yes, I'd like to post for myself, but I'm not posting my photos to stare at my own account and go through my own account. I'm like, it's for the world. So I want to know what people want to see. So,
I
yeah.
just want you to know you don't let anyone down. Like, you're amazing. So just
Thank
don't think that. And yeah, I
you.
just think it's, as you said, I guess it's like every part of verticals, isn't it? It's all so new. And as you said,
Yeah.
you're all in this new in between space. Everyone's just having to figure it out as they go along. I'm like, there's no training.
No.
Okay, this is a weird comparison, but it's kind of like when mobile phones came in for kids. And as
Yeah.
parents, it's like there's no manual of how people did this before. We're having to figure this out. And I feel like it's the same with verticals.
Yeah.
There's no guidebook. It's like,
No. No guidebook. Because everything that you like would have learned in Hollywood, like that's not really, you can't apply that to these verticals right now. It's a completely different medium and media space. So it's no one knows what to do. And like everyone's trying to figure it out. But at least we're all babies and we're all trying to figure it out and we're growing together. But I think that's what's so amazing and so beautiful about this is that we are at the forefront and at the start of this new wave of streaming in this world. It was like when broadcasting went to streaming. When that's exactly like what this is. And now we're going from this to this. And it's cool. But we need help. Sometimes we need help.
we will look after you. You'll be right. I have to do a massive subject change now because I really want to ask you. We've touched on a bit about some of your outfits, okay?
Yes.
Because you, I think, are best served with some of your outfits. Because I've talked to some other leading ladies, and they said there is an issue sometimes when you're playing the leading lady that you often get dressed in a kind of pastels or
Yes.
white as this kind of, the innocent, the purity, the damsel,
Yes.
You,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're playing leading ladies, you seem to manage to avoid that.
Yeah.
Your outfits are amazing. Please, can
Thank
you
you.
share some of your favorite looks that you've had?
Oh, some of my favorite looks. Okay. I mean, almost okay. One of my favorite looks, and this one's crazy. This is a crazy look, but it's my lap dance look from Mia in Summer Situationship. I wore this bright green and black, like fishnet BDSM type lingerie that was crazy because I would never wear that in my everyday life. Like, I'm pretty conservative. I don't like to wear a lot of belly shirts, nothing like that. So that was crazy. I had to get up on stage and do a whole thing in that. But that was one of my favorite looks because it was just so out of pocket, but so amazing. But that was Sierra. She also did, um, she's done so many for me, but she did the CEO trap. All of my favorite outfits probably have to be with Sierra because she's that phenomenal. Um, but that one was a favorite. All of the red power suits she put me in for the CEO trap, those were great. Those were really, really great. They're so comfortable too. No complaints. Like anytime I get to wear some sort of like pants, it's great because I'm always in these dresses or like skirts. And I'm like, why? Like, I would never wear this. Like, we would never wear this day to day. Come on. And like stilettos while I'm like cleaning a house. I'm like, really? Really? But so yeah, her outfits are great. I'm trying to think of other outfits I loved. I loved the school uniforms in the fencing, the scoring my sexy coach. Those little uniforms were great. I never, because I went to public school, so we never had school uniforms. And I went to private school for 2 years in high school because of sports. But even then, we had a dress code, but not an actual uniform. So I never got to do the whole school uniform. So that was really fun. But yeah, when I get to wear a pregnancy belly, that's fun too, because it's a nice place for me to rest my hands. I know it sounds really random, but it's true. It's
It
nice.
is. You do that when you're pregnant. You have to do the bowl on my stomach and eating. Yeah,
And
it's
I
a
can
thing
put
you go through.
snacks on it, and I was
Yeah.
just snacking off it. I'm like, this is great. But yeah, that. And then I think another favorite was in Miss Detective, Mr. Thief, I had this really pretty black dress, and I had a big slit on the side, and I had a holster with my gun in it. That was fun. That it felt very Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So I liked that one. But yeah, I've gotten pretty lucky with wardrobe on my projects. They've put me in some great stuff. I can't say that for every single one, unfortunately, but most of them I got lucky with them putting me in bolder colors. They love me in red. I'll take it. I'll take the red. But they always make the argument though that it's like, oh, but she can't be in red. She's not a villain. And I'm like, guys, it's okay. It's okay. They'll know from our acting who the villain and who the lead is, but they love to show it with their colors. Like in we were making the joke in scoring my sexy coach. I was in red the entire time and Molly was in blue the entire time. And that was it. None of us wore any other colors besides red and blue.
And it is, yeah, this seems to be the new one. They seem to have moved on from the kind of white to that kind of baby blue,
Yeah.
which I
Yep. They're
think's
going to
quite
blue.
hard for most people to make look good.
Yes.
It's
I
not the
agree.
best colour. And like
No,
these making beautiful people, you're like, that's not the best colour on you.
I agree. And that's like whenever they try and put me in like a very light tan or like a cream, and I'm like, I'm very pale. I'm tan right now. This is tan for me. But I'm very pale. So I'm like that it washes me out. So but a lot of times they're just reusing the wardrobe
Mm.
from the previous production. So they're not necessarily getting new ones for new actors.
There's a
But
baby blue dress that's doing the rounds at the moment. I need to get my hands on and burn. I need to
right.
save you all for this baby
Right.
blue dress. I'm
Another
like,
thing too, and it's sad because like half the time I'm like, are you guys washing this? I'm like, or am I wearing the one that Tess just wore on her last shoot? Like, or is the sisterhood of the traveling dress? They're just, it just goes around. It makes its round. I swear, like every time I'm watching a vertical, I'm like, oh, it must have been that production because I just wore that dress. But but I will say Sierra always gets new stuff. There's always tags on it, or she matches it for her actors. That I will say. Sierra is the best wardrobe stylist in the
right.
vertical.
Big shout out for Sierra. We
Big
appreciate your
shout
work
out.
and
Yeah.
making Jess look
Big,
even more
big
awesome.
shout out. Hell yeah. She's the best.
So going forward, you just filmed in Turkey. Is that something you'd like to explore more? Because I know there's more and more opportunities to film in different countries,
Totally.
Canada and more.
Yeah. I mean, to be totally honest with you, the reason why I haven't been was I lost my passport. My passport was lost for the past like 6 months. So I felt bad because anytime um I had the opportunity to film in another country, I had to be like, no, sorry. I'm like, I don't have my passport. And you would think, oh, just go renew one, get a new one. I had tried and like the process was taking a very long time. And then I had to start filming again. And when you're filming, I don't have much time off. And I went through a run where I was fortunate, so fortunate enough to have been working so much and doing back-to-back projects. But because of that, I don't have time to do anything. But then I found my passport. I found it.
Where
So
was it?
it was in a bag within a bag at like my mom's place. And she had found it. She's like, well, I found your passport. And I'm like, yes. So I got that back, which was great. But yeah, I went to Turkey and Turkey was amazing. I loved it. The people there were so kind, so nice. The only thing that I am annoyed about or is not great coming from there was I didn't get to do anything. I didn't get to explore. I was filming the entire time. I literally flew in. I got there at 2 a.m., went to bed, woke up at 9 a.m. They picked me up at 11 a.m. from my hotel, went to set, got back to my hotel at 2:30 in the morning. Went to bed, did the same thing. We had no day off. And then when we wrapped, the night we wrapped, my co-star and I, we thought we were going to have some time. So we're like, oh, let's go grab a bite to eat. We can grab a beer to celebrate. No, we had maybe 30 minutes in our hotel as soon as we got back to pack. And then they were picking us up to take us to the airport. Like
Oh
we
no!
had it, we didn't sleep. Like we slept on the plane. Like we had
But
no
you could have probably been anywhere because you didn't really get to see Turkey.
Yeah, no, it was just us filming in another country. Like I didn't even get to see anything,
Okay,
which
right.
was unfortunate.
Note to
Um,
everyone, Jessica would like to return to Turkey and
I
ideally have a day built round it somehow so she can.
please, I didn't get to even go out to eat. Nothing. It was so
Oh,
unfortunate. I know. But from what I saw in the car on the way to set was beautiful and it seems amazing. And all the people there were so kind. But it was so annoying because they're showing me photos. They're like, oh, you should visit here. Here. I'm like, well, I would if I had time. But my co-star and I made the most of it. It was Jordan Frank. He's great. The show is going to be really good. Our director was phenomenal. The crew is phenomenal. So, everyone should be very excited because that's also a role that I don't normally play either. It's a new female lead role for me. Um, but I think it's gonna be really good. I play a maid. That's my only
ooh,
maid.
okay.
Yeah.
Right. We'll keep watching. And yeah, just to sort of round off, are there any other upcoming projects as well you're really excited about? Obviously, you've mentioned
Yeah.
your feature. And well,
Yes.
you mentioned loads already. We've mentioned we've got the horror vertical, but that Rick is going to allow us to talk about.
Yeah.
Anything else as well?
Yeah, so we have that horror vertical, which sorry, Rick, you can kill me later. And then we have my feature film that's coming out. I have my one with Jordan, the one that I filmed in Turkey, that's coming out. And then there's one coming out with Sam Meyerson, which we posted a lot of BTS from that one while we were filming, but I don't know when that one is supposed to come out. I thought it would have been out already, but that one should be out on EA Shorts, I think. I don't know.
There's
I
so
think so.
many.
There's too many, too many. But I think that one's on EA Shorts. But that one, I do want to I will put out a warning before that one comes out. A trigger warning for that one. There is some touchy and sensitive subject content, with depression and bipolar disorder. So I do want to put that out there, and that is something I will be posting as well. Sam and I had both talked to production about putting a proper trigger warning at the start of the show. I don't know if they're going to do that because now it's out of our hands and we had fought for it many, many times. But that one's going to come out. That one, it's very dark. It is the darkest one I've done for sure. But Sam is so amazing in it, and the acting I think is really amazing. So I think it's worth a watch, but that one I do want to put a warning that that one is slightly darker than the rest.
I think that's all that's needed, you see,
Yeah.
because at the moment we don't really have ratings, but I mean, one or two apps are now beginning to say this one is 18 plus,
Yeah.
which is good. And the other one that's really simple, so Kalos/Mini Shorts do it. All they have is just it's in the very little bottom corner of the episode, so it doesn't impede, it doesn't change your viewing of it,
Yeah.
but it just says this episode maybe have sexual content or this
Right.
episode has that. And that's
Right.
all it needs, because then
Right.
basically all you're doing is you're just putting the power in the hand of the viewer, and then the viewer's either like, fine, carry on or not. You don't need to do like a massive thing about it. It's just give them a
Exactly.
tiny bit of information. It
Exactly.
absolves you of anything, because then it's, well, that's the viewer. The viewer's empowered and they decide whether they want to or not. So
Yeah,
it's very
exactly.
simple. That's all they need to do.
I know. So, and we had brought that up to them. We're just like, we just want to make sure that there's going to be some sort of warning. And they're like, yeah, but if there's not, Sam and I are going to post something about it for sure. But I just did want to warn everyone it's slightly darker, but it's going to be a great project.
But that's amazing. And to be honest, that's a real testament to you, because I think the other thing that happens is sometimes, obviously, the marketing doesn't really tell you what it's about. So there's ones where actually, it's a good story. There's been a few more sort of 13 Reasons Why kind of ones, but the
Yeah.
marketing doesn't prepare you for it. If you go in knowing it's that, then that's quite different to like it's being marketed as, oh, look, it's a little sweet love story. It's like, no, it's not. It's totally
Exactly.
different.
It's right.
So it's not
But
saying don't make them, just try and tell people what they're watching.
exactly. That's all they need to do. And it was that they had made it darker than it initially was going to be. But I also think in a way our acting made it darker because of what was scripted was already the content was dark in itself, but the way we were acting it, we weren't glamorizing anything and we were making it real. Both of us, because both of us, I feel like Sam and I as leads, we tend to ground the performance or just make it as natural as possible instead of as campy and soapy as possible. So because we grounded the performance and actually were acting, I think it may have made it even darker. But I guess props to him for his acting.
Well, I also want to say props to two of you as well, because I think you're both such brilliant advocates for the
Yeah.
vertical space. And, you are taking on something, that's not really your responsibility. You
Yeah.
don't have a responsibility to do that. But the fact that you're both like, no, we want to make sure that our fans understand that this is this sort of story and this is this sort of story, I think is a testament to who both of you are as human beings. So,
Thank you. That means a lot.
so very final questions. Okay. Who are the people that you love? So as in your favourite actresses, actors, and in particular, who are your favourite famous Jessicas? Because there's a lot of awesome Jessicas. So
Yeah,
any
there.
ones you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, Jessica
Your
Chastain.
sisterhood of Jessicas.
Right, Jessica Chastain. People say I look like her. That the celebrity lookalikes I get Jessica Chastain and Emma Watson if they had a baby. That's what they say. So I would love to play Jessica Chastain's daughter or the younger version of her in something. Because also we're both Jessicas. We're both redheaded Jessicas. Like there's gotta be something there. And she's also a brilliant actress. She is so talented. I think she just got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame today.
Yay!
Yeah, so yay, Jess. But my favorite, who do I love? My favorite actors. I love Heath Ledger. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. But he is so brilliantly talented. In every way, the dedication for his roles and just I love all of his movies. He's phenomenal. Christian Bale as well. I I have always been interested in method acting, so I think a lot of method actors, they're some of the most talented and have the most brilliant minds. Same thing with Johnny Depp. I love Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman in The Black Swan. I would love to play a role like that. I love uh playing roles where it's like almost like a dual personality. And I don't want to say two-faced, but like two-faced in a different meaning, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, Adam Sandler. I love Adam Sandler. Any Adam Sandler movie, you put it on, it's a good night for me. It's great. But I also love classic movies. I love Judy Garland. I love Audrey Hepburn. Like I said, The Wizard of Oz is my favorite movie. So Judy Garland definitely holds a special place in my heart. But yeah, those are really the actors I look up to for sure. Because people always say, is there ever really an actor that you follow and would just and want to act like them? And honestly, I feel like no, because acting is such an independent thing. And as much as we take little things and little advice or pieces from other actors, it's in a way you're being yourself and you're just pulling different emotions from yourself. But like talent wise or just people who I enjoy watching and I look up to, those are definitely the top of my list.
Oh, thank you. I always think it's so interesting because you learn about people's tastes and kind of what they look for. So thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. Um,
Thank
I've
you.
taken up an hour of your life. I can't thank you enough. You're an
No,
absolute
thank
superstar.
you. You're awesome. You're a superstar. Thank you so much for wanting to talk with me.
But yeah, so just thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And I think we will have to do a part two at some point because I
Please,
think you're going to have so many more exciting projects. We will need to catch
please.
up next year.
Oh, I would love to do a part two whenever you want. Thank you so much. All right.
Bye.